The classes of DrDark are now in session. I only looked once. The first time I heard tapping on my window, it was very faint and very slow. Slowly turning around in my bed, my eyes focused on the window, and I regret it now. If I just hadn't looked, so much could be different. The sight made the skin around my eyes stretch backwards and away further than they'd ever gone. My mouth widening to release the loudest scream, but no noise coming out. My pupils growing thinner until they were mere dots. My neck pushing backwards to get away. We stared for minutes. I discounted it as a bad dream. The next day, just before midnight, I clearly heard steps outside my window, like a horse galloping. I shoved my head under my blanket and tried my hardest to still myself. The tapping began. It was louder and faster than the last time. Minutes pass and the tapping stops. When I wake up the next day, I walk around to my backyard. Beneath my window were these large footprints, large enough to fit my palm, spread out with a bit of space still left. They're in front of my window, but nowhere else, as if they just came into existence. I called the cops. They arrived later that night and stand guard. The tapping never came that night. I fell asleep in peace, and a clutch of hope tells me things are going to be fine. Eventually the cops leave. I wake up in the middle of the night. It's pitch black outside. I heard loud, disgruntled tapping on my window. The tapping is much more forceful than before. I can hear the window shaking. I know something is staring at the little lump in the bed with sullen eyes. The large pit in my stomach hole told me so. I don't know why, but I'm still. It feels comfortable, I guess. A delusion telling me it can't see me if I'm just still enough. But I can't help but breathe. Then the breathing makes me rock, slightly up and slightly down. The tapping stops, eventually, and when I wake up, I feel like a wreck. I call the cops again, but this time they're not nearly as recipient as the last time. Things can't go on like this, I think to myself, and head out. There's a forest beside my house. It's filled with close trees, lush leaves, green and orange bushes, and tall, thick grass. I know the tapping comes from here. I know it for a fact. If I can find where the tapping comes from, I thought to myself. I put on my thick green jacket, my heavy black boots, and snatched my camera. The tracks must have been hidden, but not perfectly. I see trampled plants, broken sticks, destroyed mushrooms. This would look common in any other scenario, but to me right now, they were clues. I see a cave opening. It's a black door of air rimmed by grey, pointy stones. I hear a distant noise as I approach it. It sounds like an old man with a high-pitched voice, heaving loudly. I have never heard of anything like this before. My gut feels sick. The sound is just wrong. I take a step into the cave. My leg disappears into the cold abyss, as if the darkness bit it off. A spark of energy shoots through my body. Everything in me is begging me to not go in. I take a few steps in, and the darkness envelops me. I tread, feeling my way forward, and then my legs hit up against something, and I tumble down the cave until I hit up against a wall. The heaving turned into heavings. I could hear it all around me. I grabbed my camera and took a shot towards the noise. The flash lit up the corridor. I caught my gasp. On the floor, layers of people with horns lay asleep. Their feet are covered in goat hair. I thought to myself, damn, I got a picture. I'm getting out of here. I permanently put on the light to not step on anyone. I figured shining some light is better than stepping on them. And I slowly snuck my way out of this cave. As I was about to exit the cave, I saw a distracting light and accidentally stepped on a pebble. I heard the pebble fall down the cave and bump into something. The creature wakes up with a shriek, waking everyone else up. I sprint for my life. I'm sitting in my living room covered by my blanket and I'm shaking. I don't know what to do. They stopped tapping. They're banging. They're banging on my door. They're banging on every window. Some of them are screeching. Their banging grows louder and louder. The screech is more horrible. I feel like they're going to shatter my window any second now. I'm breathing too fast, hyperventilating. It goes out and in and out. I just can't control myself. Just stop. Please stop. I'll remove the pictures, I swear. I hear sirens in the distance. The banging stops. I hear them running towards the forest. Thank God, I'm saved, I think to myself. My neighbor had called the cops. I fumble out to explain what happens. I can barely describe the thoughts in my head when the officer grabs my shoulder and tells me to calm down. I show him the pictures on my phone. He looks at them curiously before dismissing them as a fake. They drive away. I am not sure what to do. I don't know what they want from me. I am sitting on my chair, staring at my window. I don't care anymore. I look them in the eyes, recognize them. I can't live the rest of my life in fear. I cannot and I will not. The clock ticks. Each second draws us closer to midnight. I feel myself want to go into bed and cover my head. But no, I won't do it this time. I'm going to look, even if it's the end of me. I swear I will look. I blink and they're all standing there. 5 large, tall, hollowed out faces staring right at me. We make eye contact, but I hold my ground. They're angry. They're showing their teeth. They bring their large rotten hands up the window. Nails that have grown for ages are on them. They bang and they bang. And for 3 minutes they're banging on my window. A sprick appears on the window like lightning. Then another one. And then the window shatters. They reach for me with their long hands and grab me, pulling me out. I scream and jerk and kick, but it doesn't matter. I am one of them now. I don't know what they did exactly, but I have changed. I am no longer human. I no longer have 5 fingers. I feel my consciousness, my humanity, fading away. I am typing this up on my phone whilst I still can. I have a warning for all of you. If you ever hear tapping on your window, don't look. Your attendance has been recorded. Make sure to follow me on social media on your way out. Have your own stories? Submit them on my subreddit. Tune into my stories anytime and anywhere by listening to my podcast. The links to everything is in the description below. Until next time, class dismissed.